What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of We Are Just Making It. I'm your host, Amir.
Co-host Ali.
And today we've got one of our dear friends and the best volleyball player that Austin, Texas has produced, Jennifer Keddy,
Hello.
aka the Water Wizard.
What's up, guys?
Round of applause.
Happy to be here.
How are you feeling?
About life or like
Yeah, I
health,
mean,
or-
you recently were just hospitalized. You just got engaged. I mean,
That's such a weird spectrum now that you just said it like that. Yeah.
you literally went from being on the brink of death to like
Oh my God.
total life.
I know. I made this joke. I was like, what was he thinking in the hospital? He's just over there like, I already bought the ring. You better not die.
I can't get a refund on this.
He's like, I
thing.
can't return this. Like, it's so horrible. No, yeah, that was crazy, first of all. Second of all, that was also crazy. It was like, yeah, almost died, and then like super happy moment in front of my family. It was-
Speaking of death, you have came pretty close to it like twice now. How many times would you say like you have really seen like the end of your tracks?
I tell people all the time I'm like super naive to that, which I think is a huge benefit because, like, for example, the most recent thing, like, I didn't know how serious sepsis or like bacterial blood infection was. Like, I was just like, doo. I will admit there was like one moment where I like could see my veins and like things in my blood, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. And I remember like sobbing to Matt and being like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And then I quickly like took a nap or something. I know it sounds ridiculous, but yeah, no, that, and then cancer 6 years ago now. I don't know why I can't just get like the common cold like normal people, but that's just not in the cards for me.
You know what they say, God gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers.
I know, and I'm like, I don't want to be on the list this
I didn't
year.
fall into here.
I don't want that again.
I'm not trying to be a part of the draft.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. But you know what they say, produces perseverance and faith. So here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's dive a little bit into you. I want to start from beginning to end. And then the first question that we always ask everyone is, have you made it?
Ooh. All my like worthy traumas are coming up now. Yes, I will say I'm very content with my life. Like, I think making it looks so different to everyone, which is so funny. I'm like, what's your idea of making it? It's like having your health. Just because I've been like, I didn't have it. And I think if you have all the money in the world, but you're not healthy, like, what do you really have? Like, what are you going to do with your money?
Yeah.
So, and obviously I'm constantly pursuing my health and trying to be the best version of myself in every aspect, you know, of like mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial health. So yeah, I would say, yes, I'm super content with where I'm at.
I
Always
love that.
Always hungry for more.
Hey,
Don't get it
never
twisted.
satisfied.
Yeah,
out to
never
the grind.
satisfied. Winners win. No.
When did your journey in pursuit of better health start?
That's such a tough question because obviously like my cancer stuff, I was so healthy going into that it was like, wow, maybe I'm obviously not that healthy, right? So like, what am I missing here? A lot of it just was physical health. Like, that's what I cared about. I was working out, I was eating all the right things, like very strict with what I was putting into my body. All I drank was water. And so that was like, okay, now we're diagnosed with cancer. Like, what does health actually mean? And that was when I had to like take a step back because I was forced to from volleyball. And I realized that like that was my whole life. Like, I was so stressed about volleyball and what I was doing, like work-wise, career-wise. And like, stress is a huge killer for people. Like, that causes heart issues, like, you know, so there were things that cancer just literally gave me a new perspective, and I had to take a step back and be like, what areas of your life are you really not that healthy in?
And then what areas did you end up finding out you weren't healthy outside of stress?
I think I'm like, Jesus is the man. I'm very spiritual, very faith-based. And so I think a lot of times, like, number one is like spiritual health, like faith, like what do you believe in? Who are you following? That kind of thing. And if you're following no one, you're following everyone. That's kind of like my perspective, is like people are leading you all the time. So yeah, I mean, I was just restarting my relationship with Jesus and like my faith. And then all that happened, and it was like, okay, we just got to trust here. Like, I was like, this is the moment.
The ultimate test.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that, but then it's like, we talk about mental health all the time. Like, it's awesome that it's becoming more common for people to like share their mental health journey and like what they're doing. So yeah, those practices. I mean, emotional health, obviously, like, I'm a huge proponent of like, you cannot ignore feelings that have been there for years. Like,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, no one knows what caused my cancer, but like, is it emotional trauma that I just ignored for years and then built up? And then,
Like,
I know it sounds crazy.
Quite literally created like real poison in your body.
Like, literally it manifested into my body and then just exploded.
I need to start doing therapy,
Bubba.
or something, because the amount of stress and emotional damage, Can
we add that clip in here? Emotional
but
damage.
seriously, like, hearing her story, I'm like, you know, I eat pretty healthy. I might eat a lot of sugar because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm healthy. And then hearing your story, I'm like, I'm not even scratching the surface. Like, internally, I might be slowly killing myself. Low key. All right.
Let's not jinx it.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what was it like coming back from cancer? Obviously, anyone who has like a huge scare in life, you obviously have a greater appreciation, and everyone's like, you know, I want to live life with no limits now. Like, I truly have a greater appreciation. Did you go into like your second win like that, or were you like, I am who I am, I'm just going to continue being that person?
That's such a good question, actually. I mean, my perspective changed on like what's important. Like, volleyball became secondary. Like, it was my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know who I was without it, which I know a lot of athletes go through that like identity crisis where they're like, who am I without my sport? Like,
Shout out Forever Athlete.
Yes. And that's crazy. Like, that there should be more resources out there. So I love that he's doing that. But yeah, that was wild. I tell, like, this is going to sound so morbid. I tell people, when I was going through cancer, it was, I don't want to use the wrong verbiage here. It's my journey. I can share however I want to share. Okay, cool. When I was going through cancer, it was easy in the sense that like all I had to do was wake up, go get chemo for 6 hours. I would sleep for 6 hours while they're just like pumping me with meds. And I was like, okay, see you later. And I would like go on a 3-mile walk with my mom, because those were my non-negotiables, was like, I'm going to still do the things I love. Like, cancer's not going to dictate how I live my life or like how I show up. And that was like, for anyone struggling with anything, like the mental aspect, like it can make or break you, quite literally. Like, I think a lot of people die because they just don't have the will to live.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to go on a 3-mile walk with my mom. We're going to hit the gym, and then we're going to go home, and I'm going to sleep some more. So like, it was easy in the sense of like, I'm just going to do those things and I have no other responsibilities. Like, try to eat, whatever. But like, it was so easy. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else to worry about. And then when they were like, oh yeah, you're good, I like walk out of the hospital and I'm just like, wait, so I'm supposed to live my life now? Like, I'm supposed to just like figure it out again? Like, this is crazy. And it's harder to be alive. Like, it's easier to be dead than it is to be alive, like to really live.
I feel that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like when you're alive, you kind of take things for granted and you say, I need to seize everything. I need to put as much on my plate as possible. I'm a huge victim of that. And then the second I step away from it all, like, I remember there was a time I took a vacation. I didn't have cancer. I took a vacation, and I came back to Austin, Texas, and I was like sobbing because I knew what I was coming back to in the life that I had created. And I was like, I don't want this. Like, I want the freedom. I want the ability to eat, work out, live my life, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of get wrapped up in creating more than we can handle because that's what we're taught to do.
Yep.
And so,
But to that point, I think that's where growth happens. When you start doing more than you can handle, by default, you have to grow and expand your arsenal of resources.
yeah, but at what point is it too much? You know, like
100%. That's
like,
a thin line to walk. Yeah.
It's always like you create a new ceiling, and when you get to that ceiling, you blow through that ceiling and you get to the next level. But I think the point that a lot of people struggle with, I struggle with, that you might have struggled with, is like we kept going through ceilings, and we expected ourselves to keep rising, never really being happy with just like stopping on a floor, taking a second, appreciating it, looking up, saying, do I want to go there? Like, we just kept going. And shit, I'm on that journey right now. I had a mental breakdown with Natalie the other night. I was like, yo, I'm not showing up as myself because I am horrified at what happens if I maybe start to lose followers, or like my social media starts tanking because I stop showing up for other people in the way that they need me to show up to, you know, gain their attention from social media. And she was like, that's such a horrible way to like go about what you do. And I was like, and I'm sad. Like, everyone sees the growth that we go through, but they don't understand like how we don't feel fulfilled in the accomplishments. And it's because, like, honestly, we might not really have too much like value in the end result. We were more worried about like having fun in the process. And people are like, you're an AVP volleyball player, you have been the first out of Austin, you make it to every tournament, everyone's inviting you to play, you're tight with the University of Texas head coach's wife, and you're like, yeah, but like, I just want someone to hold me. You know what I'm saying?
I actually cry when I'm playing. So no, I think when we say yes to more things just to say yes to them and like break these ceilings, we have less room to say yes to ourselves. And then it's like, that's where we like lose ourselves, you know. But you also, it's like such a weird discussion, because when you are alive, like, that's when you get to like chase your dreams and like do all of these things and figure out like, hey, that's actually not what I want to do. And then you like get to say no to it down the road. Like, nothing's permanent. You don't have to say yes always, like forevermore. So you can say yes to those things and figure it out. And like, that's kind of like, you get to live. There's so many people who like, quote unquote, are dead, just living life, doing these things that they don't actually want to do. And like working these jobs they don't actually want to work. Not saying that that's like, you know, it's good to have like stable income, right? And like, people have families, they got to take care of themselves. But like, a lot of people don't do things that they really want to do. And that's sad, because it is scary. It's like, it's scary to put yourself out there and actually like live a life that's not the norm. Like, being a social media creator and like being in that, like, people have no idea. Like, I'm not even an influencer. I have what, like 18,000 followers, and I post ridiculous videos every day. But like,
So good.
and I just like don't care. I'm like, I don't care if people like me or not, whatever. But like, being a creator, like, that's, you're in front of millions of people all the time.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's scary.
And what's even more like scary is like how I show up for other people dictates whether I make, you know, my income. It dictates crazy. Whether I have success. If I say something wrong, then my career quite literally, you know, hinges on it.
Yeah.
And so, switching to what you just said, you said that people die before they're even dead. Yep. What would you say your advice would be for that person who's like sitting at their desk right now and is like, they're on the cusp, they want to pursue that dream, but they're just like, I'm scared?
Gosh, that's so tough. Because in my head, I'm like thinking of all the things I want to do, but I'm like,
right? You're doing that to yourself.
100%. Because I'm like, those are too big. Like, that's, let's save that. Let's save that for down the road. I put myself out there with my business and what I do for work, and it was because I was forced to. Like, I lost my jobs and I was like living out of my car, living off people's couches, and eventually moved home, and then I like had to make something out of it because I had bills to pay. And I think like people, the sad truth is like people aren't going to change unless something seriously dramatic happens, most likely. In most cases, like people just don't change just because. And I wish they would. Like, I wish I would have been like, ooh, you know, maybe I should look at this water for my health, and like, who knows what would have happened. But here we are, and I don't know who I would be if I didn't have my story. So it's like, how do you know? But yeah, I like don't if you think about something enough, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, start small. There's gonna be so much regret if you don't do it, and you're gonna live your life. Like, you're gonna get to be 60 years old and you're gonna be like, should have done that, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's every old person's wisdom. Like, every time I hear it, they're like, just try not to have any regrets, like, with your, obviously don't live like a total maniac.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to dreams and like things you really want to do, I'm a firm believer in, like, God put that on your heart because you're supposed to do it. Like, that's what you're here to offer the world.
I agree. And I think that they say like the wealthiest place in the world is a graveyard, because there's so many rich ideas and professional athletes and doctors that never pursued it and just
So
left it there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, shoot, we have dreams all the time. I mean, I might have a little too many dreams. Every other
You
week,
fill up
get
that
it.
dream plate, don't you?
every single week,
My
I hit him with
boy.
like hey man, so I've decided, I think we should do this. And
That's
he's
how
like,
every one of our conversations starts. Hey man, so I've decided. I'm like, Jesus, here we go.
You're like, no.
Here we go. Kudos to him, because at least he starts taking actions on,
Yeah.
I'd say like 30% of them.
yeah,
And like probably 10% of them actually come like fruition. That's a pretty good rate though.
that's a pretty good
That's
conversion.
a pretty good rate. And it's like the ones you're taking action on, like, maybe those are ones that are meant to be.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this, for example, was something that I just was talking to my clients, and I was like, I had a client that recently just bought a home in Austin, Texas. They've been there for a year. They were really excited to be here. And the way the podcast came to fruition was they called me up and were like, hey, Amir, we've been here for a year. We want to grab dinner with you. We just want to catch up. And I was like, oh my God, like, I've been so busy. I'm so sorry that I haven't connected with you guys sooner. We sat down, we're eating dinner, and they're like, so, you know, the reason that we wanted to have dinner with you is because we actually are really unhappy in Austin, and we want to go home and be closer to family because we want to, you know, work on starting our family. And I was like, well, how about we get you closer to Austin? Let's get you closer to friends. Like, you guys live really far. Like, there's a fix to it. Because at the same time, I'm a real estate agent. I also am like a community builder, and that's why I got into real estate, was because like I wanted my network to grow, but I also wanted my family and my community to grow, and I wanted to take a part in, you know, where you live, what you like to do. Let's do it together, build that community, blah blah blah. And so they were like, we want to leave, and I was like, you guys have only been here for a year. And I told them what the risk was of them selling their house, only being there a year, the capital gains taxes, the fact that the property wouldn't have appreciated enough for them to cover costs, and they'd be upside down on it, quite frankly. And we pitched the idea of them leasing it, and they're like, it's not for us. We want to wash our hands. But they felt like devastated about it. And I was like, I want you guys to know, you have, in this moment, I know you're thinking about the money, you're thinking about, you know, if this was a mistake or not. You need to think about what's right for you, because God willing, you have the rest of your life to recoup this. But what's gonna be worse for you, your relationship, your family, is if you guys stay here and every single day you're waking up with resentment, wishing you would have left yesterday.
yeah.
And I was like, as long as you know the facts and you're okay with those, it's my job. I present those to you. But if you guys say, let's do it, let's do it. I support you. And so this podcast started because at first they were like, we're idiots. We made a horrible decision. I was like, you know how many people move to an area and then a month later, like, up and leave? Isaac Rochelle, he's an influencer that I follow. He's got a wife, Allison Cooch. Wait, yeah. Is it? Do you guys know him?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
NFL player?
Yeah. Yeah. So
How'd the podcast start? You keep saying this is how the podcast started.
the podcast started.
I was waiting.
I was
didn't
waiting,
wanna
like, for the
interrupt.
other shoe to
I didn't
drop.
wanna interrupt
I'm
and tell
so
you he's
sorry.
a terrible storyteller, but
I'm a terrible storyteller. The podcast started because I wanted to give them a sense of, you aren't alone in like the journey that you're going through. Like, hardship, everyone faces hardship. Everyone's trying to make it. Everyone's trying to do the right thing, but in reality, there is no right thing. And so I was like, you're just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it. I should make a podcast and like start letting people feel like, see the true wins and losses of other people. That was how the podcast started.
Okay, we love
Good
that.
job, buddy.
Yeah, you can go ahead, buddy.
No, my little sister gave me like the wisdom one day because I was trying to make a decision. No, she literally just goes, "Any decision you make is the right decision." And I was like, "Get away from me."
How old is your sister?
She's 8 years younger than me, so like do the math. I don't know. Sorry, Cheyenne. I have no idea. I have so many siblings. One popped out of the woodwork recently. Like I don't know.
Oh,
How many siblings do you have?
8. No, it's so.
Are you the oldest? Are you the
so
eldest?
many. I've just forgotten
Oh
everyone's
my
age.
gosh.
Are you the eldest?
No, I'm not the eldest.
Are you the grand wizard?
Yes, I should be. No, I'm the middle. Out of everyone, I'm the middle.
Okay.
So it's like mixed. It was dad, mom. On my dad's side, I was the baby. On my mom's side, middle. And they treated me as such.
Do you think like how you grew up with like 8 siblings like made a difference in like who you are today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up with 3 brothers. So like, yeah, that was rough. They made fun of me all the time. They called me fat all the time. However, I've grown from it. So
Is everyone like 6'4" in your family like you?
no, I'm definitely the tallest girl. Like my little sister that I was just talking about, she's 6'2", half sister. I have another half sister who's like 5'7", stepsister 5'7". My full sister was 5'10". She passed away when she was a sophomore, so she probably would have grown. However, I don't know that she would have actually. Yeah, and then I have a brother who's 6'7", and the other ones are 6'1", and then yeah.
Just casually throwing out an NBA roster.
I
Yeah.
know. Just stacked
That's
up.
true. With subs.
With subs.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. No.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to have a couple questions. I know you kind of went on a
Dude,
rant.
do your. Sorry, I didn't mean to do
How your
that.
podcast.
No, we
did
loved it.
start.
We loved
Sorry.
it. Thank you for sharing.
Hang out in the corner.
All right, I'm gonna hang out right here.
Hang out.
I might jump in every now and then. Okay.
Well, Jen, I have a question for you. I think we're all interested in it. So, why do they call you the water wizard?
That's a funny story, actually.
A full story, I imagine.
A real story.
With the beginning, middle, and end.
Would love to hear it.
And it leads to that question.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah. Okay. No more risk. Okay. No. So 2020. Yeah. I do water for my business. Not obviously. I don't know why I said that. I do water. I work with water for my business. And in 2020, when I lost everything, got fired from jobs, whatever, and I had to make this work, I was like sitting on the couch at my parents' house, like with one of those Mickey wizard hats, you know, from Fantasia. And I like had it on. I was drinking water out of a wine glass. And I was like making just like this ridiculous video. And I was like, water wizard. And I think another friend of mine at the time was like, you should be the water wizard. And I was like, this is a great idea. Like, cause there's so many people, you know, doing the same thing. It's like, how am I going to stand out? And I was like, I started like making videos with this wizard hat on and like calling them experiments and like magic tricks and stuff like that. And like, that's how the water, and then I started making like absolutely ridiculous videos and it just stuck. So now I'm just the water wizard, and like here and there I'll throw in like a weird video with a beard on, and it works really well.
You really go in.
Yeah.
No, they're super funny. And if you're trying to imagine what she looks like with like a wizard beard and hat, what's your Instagram handle?
At Genuine Waters.
Okay.
JENN.
Stop imagining. Just go watch it. It's pretty good. So on your water journey, obviously you had some great success. Do you think like water changed your life, not just from like a financial standpoint, but like from like a health standpoint as well?
100%. I was the person that like when I was younger, I would just drink out of a water hose. I was like, I love the heavy metal taste, like, drinking the water. There's no way that's good for you. And I was in Montana. Like it's got to be clean water, right?
Yeah.
And I'm an athlete. I obviously like drinking water is super important for humans in general, and also athletes. That's like, hey, you don't want to cramp, whatever. So, and I just would like drink any water. Like I didn't care. I just loved water. And I think when I got sick, like with the cancer stuff, it was like I said, I was so healthy and like none of it made sense. And that's kind of when the water popped up. And when they did genetic testing on me, because they had no idea how my cancer started, it was super rare, not in my family. So they did genetic testing and they were like, yeah, you don't have a cancer gene in your body. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. And I would like to know how this happened. Like, do you have any answers for me? And they were like, oh, free radicals. And so when the water popped up, it was like, it's hydrogen rich, which is like the strongest antioxidant known to man. Antioxidants fight free radicals. And like in my head, I mean, the stats were insane. It was like the type of cancer I had, it was like 76% chance that it's coming back in 5 years. And the odds, this will blow your mind. This blew my mind. I didn't know this until like 2 years after my treatment. But the cancer or the chemo that I did was like, at 5 years, at the 5-year mark, your chance of survival was 50% just
Oh my
from
God.
the chemo.
Coin toss?
A coin toss.
If the cancer didn't get you, the chemo would.
Correct, which in most cases it does. I hope we don't get like censored for this conversation. Anyway, no, but that was like crazy to me because I was like, I mean, with the water, it was a total faith buy. Like I didn't know what I was getting into. My friend just basically sent me that free radical thing, and I was like, okay, we got 2 options. I can keep on living my life how I'm living it and hope that none of it comes back. I can be on meds for the rest of my life, like my doctor said, for all of my chemo side effects, and just hope that like I can still play volleyball, but like I'm currently not able to walk because of the side effects. So like that's kind of a struggle. Or we can invest in this water and see what happens. And for me, it was like I did not want to be on meds for the rest of my life. I was 26 years old. I wouldn't even take ibuprofen for a headache. But I like just did chemo and I wanted to be like done with all of it. Like I was like, we're done with the meds. And I was like, there's got to be another option. And so I just did it. Yeah. And I mean, no health claims. I'm not allowed to say it, like healed, cured, whatever. But literally water is so important for our bodies that like, you start drinking it, we are made of water, right? Yeah. So like whatever water you're putting into your body, that's probably the water that you're going to become, just like you are what you eat. It's like the same with water. And so I start drinking this water, it's completely changing my body and like returning it to its original like state of optimal function, right? And I'm able to detox. I'm doing all these like from the chemo. And I want to say it was like a week of me drinking the water. And of course, my family thinks I'm absolutely bonkers for doing this, right? Like they're like, yeah, we'll try your magic water. And then like literally a day in, they're obsessed. However, like a week after drinking it, it was like all my side effects started to go away. And I was like, this is freaking crazy. And like I said, I didn't do any research when I bought my machine. Like I just...
You saw the ad.
I saw my friend and it was like desperation mixed with like, I don't want to die in 5 years. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, this is crazy. And I remember I went to my oncologist and I was like so stoked. I was like, yo, I got this water. It's pretty crazy. You're never going to believe this, but my side effects are like getting better. And he was like, absolutely not. And I was like,
oh, shut it down.
You're the problem.
You're the problem.
Remember, we had a whole conversation.
We're going to get into it.
Okay.
We're going to get into it.
I was like, oh, wow, you're the problem. And so that was actually the first time that I realized, I was like, oh, the medical system is a business.
Well,
this is really sad. I had I was so optimistic about everything in life. I was like, no, like they're doing the best. And I don't want to take away from doctors and nurses. Like a lot of them are doing what they feel is like the right thing, right? So it's not them. It's definitely like, maybe it's some of them, but it's mostly not them.
Yeah.
But like, I remember just being like so discouraged. And I went home and that's when I started doing research because I was like, I just want to figure out why this is happening. And I mean, there's a lot of science on it. And like, I just became obsessed with like each body part or like muscles, tissue, DNA, like our cells. And I just started studying one piece. Like I would take the DNA, for example, and then I would be like, how does water play a role in DNA? And then I would just find these crazy, like figure out these crazy things where like DNA is what's it called?
Ribonucleic acid?
No. The shape.
The helix?
Double helix.
Thank you. The double helix. So when water comes out of a source, it's a double helix. Okay. Here's another cool thing. In this, like DNA is wrapped in water and it should be structured water. It should be electrically charged, like negative water. And when it's not, that's when the DNA becomes damaged, is if the water's not structured or it's like not negatively charged. And there's a book called, it's you guys.
You're going to send me down a rabbit hole.
You should go, like, we should do a water party.
We should do a water party.
Because that was my first, like, Jen and I had played volleyball together a couple of times, but then she was like, hey, I'm hosting a water event. And that was like my introduction to Austin. And
oh my gosh,
that?
I forgot about that. Yes, the water demo.
Yeah.
It's freaking.
It's insane.
Insane.
It's really cool. I felt like at first I was like, I'm gonna speak my experience. I felt like it was a scam.
Yeah.
Like I was like, at first I was like,
Same.
She like was like, all right, you're gonna drink some water. You're gonna put your hand up. I'm not gonna be able to push your hand down. I was like, the shit they do at the mall with the fighting bands. You remember?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Those are my favorite.
all right. And then, like, I left it. I was like, it is good water. Like, you taste it, and it is quite literally different from anything you buy at the store. You know how, like, there's a difference between Dasani, Fiji?
Yeah.
Like, as you climb the scale, like, you're like, I just drank this entire bottle, and I feel good. I don't feel bloated.
Yeah.
She gave me a jug of it. She was like, I challenge you. Drink a jug of this water and tell me how you feel at the end of the day. And I was like, I'm going to feel fucking fine. I drank the water. I drank the jug in half of the day. Because you don't feel as if, like, it's weighing you down. You don't feel...
Like, you don't feel heavy from it.
You don't feel dehydrated as you're drinking. Like, it quite literally is water. And so I came to her and I was like, that water's kind of good. And she hit me with that price ticket and I said, I'm kind of broke. And she was like, we offer financing. And I was like,
Of course you do.
I was like, damn it.
No, that, yeah, I, as an athlete, before I found the water, one of my rules was like, I'm not allowed to drink water during games because I would get bloated. It would make me nauseous. Cramp. Yeah, I was like, I can't drink water during games. And like, I'm in Germany. They're like, you want this sparkling water? I'm like, sounds kind of good, actually. Like, burns the throat. You're like, yes.
Oh, that's what I needed.
But I go, fight.
Feel the static.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like, there's so much to know about water, and there's a really cool book. It's called Cancer and the New Biology of Water. And he goes into, like, cancer stats, chemo, like, all the things, but then he talks about water, and, like, I mean, yeah, there's so much.
What is the name of the water again?
Do we tell him?
No.
I know what it is.
No.
I just wanted you to say it for the people that don't know.
No.
You can,
Go to her Instagram.
yeah.
Okay.
Disclaimer issues.
Or we could just cut it
Oh,
out.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's okay. Good on us for knowing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to be sued.
no.
Sounds like
Same. I also don't.
I can't afford a lawyer or water.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll pay you in water. Yeah. But it's really cool. And it's becoming more and more popular. Like, like, if you're on social media, you've probably seen it, which I still run into people all the time who have no idea what it is. And
I run into people all the time that don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then there was like some Bravo woman who was like, or some reality TV person who was like, you can spend $10,000 on a Birkin, but you're gonna mock me for my water?
Oh my gosh, it was selling OC.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, people spend $5 to $6K on a bag all the time. Like, I can spend it on a water machine.
Yeah.
So I'm investing in my health. And I was like, girl. Yeah. It's like, girl, yes.
Go off.
I love when people like knock you for like, everyone thinks investing in your health is stupid until you're sick. And then they're like, oh yeah, this is what you should have done. This is what you should have done. And I'm like, dude, fuck off.
Yeah. No, when I was diagnosed, I had so many people like that I hadn't talked to in years. Like, actually, my first boyfriend, who actually cheated on me, messaged me and had the audacity to be like, watch out for chemo. And I was like, what? What are my other options, sir doctor?
Yeah.
Like, what are you? Like, it was crazy. Yeah.
How many people have you had in your life that have like all of a sudden became medical professionals or like...
Me, number one. For my own health.
MD
no.
Jed.
Oh gosh. It's so easy with the internet, right? Like,
Yeah.
anyone can become an expert. So I don't know. I couldn't even count. It's funny to me, the people who become like experts on the water who have actually never even looked into it. But it's like, it does. I mean, it sounds like a scam. Like, the first time I heard about it, I like called it like, what did I say to my friend? I called it like crazy poop water because it detoxes you. Like, TMI. Sorry, people. Anyway, but I was like, this is crazy. This is like for old sick people. And then, yeah, a year and a half, I was the sick person. So
You gotta try the water.
I want to.
let's do a test. I love tests.
I love
being water
the
tests.
test subject.
Yeah, I love water tests. Cool.
So that's a win.
Yeah.
So
Great.
I kind of want to switch gears again.
If
If we don't get shadow banned for our last segment, we definitely will for this one.
Sick.
Correlation between healthcare system in the food.
Oh, you definitely gonna get a shadow ban.
For sure. We had a whole conversation before you got here.
I mean, go off, kid.
I need some answers.
This
I need some
username is not
answers.
attached to my profile.
Okay.
Why is there more money in the treatment than the cure? Jen,
Because,
thoughts?
well, if people are cured, like, where are they going to make their money?
Yep.
You can't just keep curing people. Who's going to come back? If you're not making people sick, who's going to come to the hospital?
Well, and if you look at the way our food is made, how many products in the past year have started to get banned, and they were never even like for consumption in other countries?
Yeah.
Like, there's products there I was like, dude, I ate that as a child, and now they're like, yeah, it's actually not allowed to be sold in the U.S.
There's
I'm
actually
like,
trace amounts of poison.
sick, sick.
Arsenic and everything.
Arsenic, yeah. If in case you wanted to.
But to your point, like, a lot of the things that they're putting in the food nowadays is so that way you continue to crave it. The sugars, the salts,
Yes.
the chemical, like, chemicals shouldn't be in food.
Literally, food science is a major. Like, you have scientists in a lab, like, trying to figure out how
creating
to make people
flavors
more.
with chemicals.
Yes.
Like, you can create the flavor of smoke with toxonucleic
Yep.
doo-doo poo-poo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acid.
Verbatim, the chemical.
So watch out for
Reddit.
the poo poo chemical, all right? But we got really in depth with it because like the correlation between the FDA, which is our Food and Drug
You are
Administration,
trying to get us kicked off.
and the healthcare system is so messed up that they just feed off of each other and like it's just this never ending cycle.
You deserve a Netflix special.
It's just I've watched so many Netflix documentations
Yeah.
on I'm an
Here
expert.
it is.
Yeah, there it is. Got him.
I'm an expert.
You are the medical expert.
I'm the problem.
Yeah. Well, the FDA approved cigarettes.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not
you'll
cool.
never. People ask me all the time. They're like, "Well, why isn't this water like approved by the FDA?" And I'm like, "That's an interesting question." They also approved cigarettes, and they're not going to approve. Like, it's called alternative medicine because they want you to think it's an alternative solution to the real medicine.
The real medicine.
Yeah. It's like you go to other countries, they don't have commercials for pharmaceuticals like we do.
No,
Like,
we had an opioid epidemic
yeah.
because money talked.
Yes.
I don't trust anything. The only thing I trust is my inhaler.
Yeah.
About that
Need
opioid
that.
epidemic, by the way, the Narcan that they sold for the overdose was manufactured by the same people that did OxyContin. And it's just like this,
It's a
never, like, hey, you
cycle.
OD'd? Hey, we got you. Oh, you OD'd again? We got
gotcha.
you.
Got you. Yeah. No, and it's
crazy.
every area, like drugs, food. Like, I have friends who have been in rehab for food like disorders, and it's like they're giving them Pop-Tarts and granola bars and like and like shoving it down
Yeah.
their throats. Like, that's not. And then they're like, okay, go like be healthy, and that's not how you do it. What? That's
I see like
crazy.
these chubby little kids, and I'm not chubby shaming. I was a chubby little kid.
You
First
are.
off, still am fluffy. We like to say fluffy, but I'll see like these chubby little kids run around at like a soccer game, and instead of giving them like an orange, like, oh, here's some Gatorade and Capri Sun, and don't
some
forget to eat your
Oreos.
chips and some Oreos to fuel yourself for this game.
Yeah.
Like, my brother in Christ, you are killing your child.
Yeah. Which, like, we got to be sensitive to parents because I know they're doing their best. Like, my mom was a single
100%.
mom of 3.
And some people
like,
can't afford to sit in front of a kitchen and make homemade meals. But
Yes.
this isn't us knocking the parents.
For sure.
This is
food system.
this system.
Focus.
Like, and I am always a proponent of the system is broken, and the system isn't for the people, it's for the pockets.
Yeah.
I've lived by that, and I know that.
It's a good one.
That is a good one. Is that off the
that
cuff?
It sure was.
Can't tell stories, but damn it, he's good at quotes.
And I can't quote chemicals, but God, okay. We found my niche.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, it's tough for anyone, especially like healthy food. And even if you start looking at healthy foods, now we're arguing like pesticides and the chemicals that go into the food. So it's like you can't even sustainably source good food,
Right.
without also trying to fight the fact that there's chemicals in your food.
Right. Well, like, why do we have to pay extra to not be poisoned? Like, we had
Why
Why
does a
is-
chicken Caesar salad cost more than my hamburger?
correct.
Pause.
Yeah. No, crazy. And if you
Man.
go to other
Oh, I
countries,
could
it's
get
like
riled up.
they just have they just have food how food is.
I'm-
like, they don't have them, like, you go to Peru, for example, their grocery stores, like, they're gonna give you whatever was grown.
Yeah.
Like, they're not in there like, ooh, that one's not pretty enough. It's like, no, like, you're getting this, like,
Yeah.
a real zucchini. Like, have you seen a real zucchini from a garden?
It's not like this big.
Are you kidding? My brother's grown one that's like this big.
That's
If anyone
crazy.
can see this.
That's
It's
crazy.
huge. Like this.
We're eating GMO zucchinis?
Dude,
We're eating GMO.
I'm just tired of my friends.
I think I got so tall.
I'm just tired of my friends
I
going to
missed that
Italy.
GMO plate. I don't know.
I'm just tired of my friends going to Italy and then coming back saying I lost 5 pounds eating pasta.
Yeah.
That's pissing me off.
No, yeah, that's so annoying. I went to Barcelona last summer. All I ate was like milk and bread, and I felt.
And you
great.
feel great.
You felt great, like so good. Yeah, it's crazy.
So you guys, what I'm thinking, we renew our passports.
So you guys, I have an idea. Here it is.
She's catching on.
This is how it
Right,
starts.
this is. Full
I'd be down. If I could find a job and learn a language, I'm down to go.
Well, I did read something about Italy paying people.
$3,500 or something
Yeah.
like that. $35,000.
That's crazy
Yeah.
because I need $3,500.
That's crazy.
I need
Y'all
$5.
What?
Yeah, I need $5.
My brother.
If you could swing that after the pod, that'd be great.
do. Yeah.
Brother.
No, yeah, I've thought about it. Like, actually thought about it. It's crazy.
Our mom is currently thinking about it.
Oh, she's
every
definitely thought about
she
it, yeah.
she's every time she travels, we're like, "Oh, what are you going there for?" And she's like, "Oh, we're touring homes." I'm like, "Pause. We're here. Are you taking us with you? Like, how are you about to just go elevate your life and be like, okay, good luck in America?"
Yeah. Ooh, food sucks. Good luck.
No, but she's born overseas, so she's
She got a different life.
yeah.
Where is she from?
She was born in Saudi Arabia, lived in London for a little bit, and then she lived in Chicago.
But our family's from Lebanon.
Correct.
Whoa.
Yeah. Gang,
She's a
gang.
little world citizen.
Yeah. That's crazy.
We don't know anything about our dad. Don't ask.
No, I don't-
Oh, okay. Yeah.
typical black.
Tough.
ch- you know.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Definitely getting shadow banned now.
Yeah.
If the people didn't hate us before.
Father's Day is a tough holiday for us African Americans, you know.
There it is.
And now we're done.
And now-
Yeah, yeah,
You
okay,
just
okay.
really.
I'm just seeing what
I was
the
like, I really
algorithm
want to
thinks,
comment,
you know.
but I'm a white.
You should
female.
stay over there.
Yeah.
You should. Let me help
My
you.
dad was born in North Carolina.
Let me help you, my brother.
So a little side note, because if for the viewers that are seeing this and happen to see her page, maybe you'll catch her on her story doing her infamous banana peel.
Yeah.
Explain that thought process for me, because I'm curious.
Well, TikTok said to try it, and I'm trying it, so you don't have to.
Wow.
I know it's really selfless work.
Is it going well?
So I had the hospital stint, which kind of put a pause on the bananas on the face. Yeah. Got to kick that back up. But actually, it was going well. Like, it tightens your skin.
Really?
And like, why would someone want to get Botox? It's got toxin in the name, you know. So like, why not just do a banana on your face for a little bit, and then
See what happens.
yeah, I'm all about banana castor oil. Like, y'all, people are sleeping on some things. Banana peels are also sunscreen. I learned.
Did you blend
Is
it?
that true? No, I
you
don't
do?
know. You just like banana peel maybe.
What do you?
Never tried that
What if you're allergic to bananas?
Ooh, bummer.
Ooh, bummer. No thanks.
Stay inside. Yeah, stay inside.
Sounds like it's Botox.
Sounds like
Botox and sunscreen.
Yeah, for sure.
outside of the banana peel, do you have any like really good wellness hacks? Like outside of drinking water, that's
I know. I was
actually
gonna
good for
say
you?
drinking water.
Yeah, outside of that, because obviously, volleyball player, pro, like
Yeah.
very athletic.
Man, the slow morning routine is underrated. I think for
Just
sure.
like easing into your day versus
Yeah.
waking up to an alarm, picking up your phone, watching Instagram.
And then just like getting going. It's
kind of a hot take.
Coffee.
I feel like that's
No,
what I
it
do every
is.
morning.
Yeah, it's tough. Like if I don't do my morning routine now, I feel like I can feel my stress.
Oh.
Like if I get up and I'm like frantic, I just get on my phone before I'm like reading or doing whatever. Yeah. No, I feel frantic. Cold showers. I know that's like all the rage right now.
Cold showers and cold tubs.
Yeah.
I hate cold water. So
I know.
It's just me.
Cold shower though is like, I mean, it wakes you up. It's good.
Oh, I bet.
Super good for you too.
It's good. And then good water straight to the dome, like full glass, head high. Everything's so clear. You're just tell me everything.
The water speaks to you.
Yes, the water's speaking to your cells.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
no, I would say like, man.
I would say, I mean, we've got to wrap up here, but the last question that we ask, so we start with a question, we end with the same question, is if you had one piece of advice, what is it? Actually, you always ask the question.
It's two things.
It's a twofold.
It's twofold. If you had like a book you recommend
Yeah.
to viewers listening, that maybe it's an audiobook or anything like that, what would be that book? And then if you had like a quote to leave them with, or something to really like ponder or like make it, a quote of the week and kind of live by it for that week, what would that be?
I love that I have a quote. I would say it's Andrew Hormozy.
Alex.
Alex, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
you just quoted two different
No,
people.
sorry. Alex Hormozy. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's my guy.
Yeah. No, I love him.
So
He's just like, his energy is just like straightforward. This is what you should do. If you want to like take a break and do this, like
Do it.
go ahead, but you're not going to get to this part like, if
100%.
you really want this.
100%.
I just like that energy. And he also offers a ton of value, even though I didn't know his first name. My bad.
Andrew Hormozy.
Andrew, Andrea, Ashley. Yeah. No, yeah, I love his stuff. And then quote, this blew my mind. It was at a volleyball tournament and we just lost a really tough game to get into the AVP Pro circuit. It was Katie and I. And I'm like super bummed because I'm like, it's all my fault. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, it's harder to change when you're winning. And I was like, oh,
Dang.
wow. Literally, it was like, hey, if you're winning, you're just like comfortable and you're feeling good, which actually happened also in volleyball. But he was like, it's harder to change when you're winning. And that is like in life.
In that
You're
moment,
killing it in life. Like you're just like, cool, I'm crushing it. But like those moments when you get sick, when you lose everything, like that's when people change.
that is,
I've heard a lot
Dang.
of quotes. That's
I'm
one of my
sitting here thinking
favorite.
about my life and I'm
Yeah,
like,
dang.
dang. Yep, that makes sense.
Checks out.
No, same thing happened to me. He said that and I was like,
I'm gonna start blaming
Whoa.
everything on my life.
yeah.
I'm changing because I'm becoming a winner. I'm becoming a winner. That's what's happening here.
No, for sure.
It's funny.
Well, Jen, we really appreciate you coming in. I'll see you on the court this Saturday.
Oh yeah. You're gonna get rocked.
Yeah, right.
Watch me block him. That'd be
my
so
gosh.
fun. Put it on social.
Oh my God. Tag him.
Tag him.
Post.
All right, guys, that is another episode of We Are Just Making It. I'm Amir.
I'm Ali.
I'm Jen.
Jen, what's your Instagram one more time for the viewers?
At Genuine Waters. JENNUINE. Kind of a play on words there.
She's funny.
Yeah.
She's funny, folks.
And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.